What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react and learn about the top 10 incredible facts about the CN Tower in Toronto, Canada. You know, I'm aware of the CN Tower. I was made aware of it at some point or another. I learned a bit about Toronto. It's still a little fuzzy to me, but I know of the CN Tower. It's cool. I just don't really know what it does, what it's for. To me, it's a big old tower, which isn't a bad thing. It's cool. It's a very cool thing. It's a big old cool tower, but it doesn't just have to be a big cool tower. It can be more. And so with today's video, I'm trying to learn more about what the CN Tower is actually all about. And this here, top 10 incredible facts about the CN Tower. 10 different incredible facts sounds wonderful, perfect to me. So this may just satisfy my yearning for knowledge about said tower. So let's take a look.
If you're from Toronto in Canada, you will definitely know what this building is behind me. In fact, there's a good chance you can probably see it from your house. My name's Danny Burke, this is Most Amazing Top 10, and today I'm going to be talking about Canada's tallest building. Here's some incredible facts about the CN Tower.
The tallest building. It is the tallest building.
At number 10, the CN Tower in Toronto stands for Canada's National Tower, and it's an impressive 553 meters tall.
What? I don't know meters very well, but like 1,500 plus feet high?
When construction was finished of it in 1975, it was the tallest building in the world for an impressive 32 years. And it's
1975. Man, this is got a lot of facts coming, but I like it. 1975, that's like 60-ish years ago that this was built. Not all that long ago. And I gotta say, the way it's built, it almost looks to me like that thick part with the windows or whatever that is. Looks like it should go like up and down the tower. That'd be cool. I don't think it does that, though. Which doesn't take anything away. Apparently, this was the largest, like, freestanding building in the world for a while, which I also didn't realize.
It's still the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere, and the 6th tallest freestanding structure in the world. That's like 3 awards in one.
It looks kind of like otherworldly, in a way. Like a flying saucer on a... Okay, I'll stop. Let us continue learning, lest I speculate about the aliens in the CN Tower.
Basically, if you're ever in Toronto, you won't need any help finding it. It's right there. It's always right there, wherever you are. No.
Did they say... So he said it's Canada's National Tower. That's what it stands for. Did we say why it was built? Why? Why does it exist? Does it exist just to be cool? That would be a reason, at least. I wouldn't be upset.
Number 9 now. Although the CN Tower was and is intended to be a radio tower, it has become quite the tourist attraction over the years. About 2 million people each year. That's roughly the population of Macedonia. Don't know why I chose Macedonia. People don't talk about Macedonia enough. Anyway, these 2 million visitors make the trip up the elevator on the CN Tower to the Sky Pod.
Wow, oh, the Sky Pod. It has a name. That part that you go in, and that'd be cool to go up that elevator. Oh my gosh, like, what do you say, 500 meters up in an elevator? So it's a radio tower. That's a very cool looking radio tower. Honestly, the tower to me looks like it was made as an attraction, like a symbol of Canada or something, or of Toronto, but it actually was meant to have a functional purpose. I didn't actually know that.
Make the trip up the elevator on the CN Tower to the Sky Pod. That's a pod in the sky, for those of you wondering. Yeah, thank me later. Number 8 now. The CN Tower is considered a modern wonder of the world. In 1995, the American Society of Civil Engineers named the CN Tower as one of their 7 engineering wonders of the world.
Oh, I was gonna say, there are, like, the wonders of the world. I know Niagara Falls. Is that one of the wonders of the world? The Grand Canyon? I'm getting a little mixed up here. But I can absolutely see why the CN Tower could be one of the seven, we're calling it one of the seven engineering wonders of the world, or is that right?
Engineers named the CN Tower as one of their 7 engineering wonders of the world, claiming that it was one of the greatest civil engineering achievements of the whole of the 20th century. It sits on that list with other greats such as the Channel Tunnel that links the UK and France underwater, New York's Empire State Building, and San Francisco's Golden Gate Bridge, which I also talked about in another video we did right over here. Check.
Yeah. I mean, the CN Tower is not just gigantic. It is, but it also looks cool, which is like, I don't know. No matter how simplistic a view that is, I think it's important to like be interesting and have a cool look.
Check it out. At number 7, the CN Tower is almost perfectly vertical. Now you might ask, how can it be almost perfectly vertical? It looks pretty straight to me. Surely a building has to be perfectly straight. Well, it's actually off by 1.1 inches at the top from being what builders call plumb, which means vertically level.
No, why? Is that on purpose? How did we mess this up? By 0.1, by how little? It's not perfectly level. That could drive you insane, honestly, just knowing that it's that far away from being perfect level.
At the top from being what builders call plumb, which by 1.1 inches at the top.
1.1 inches. 1.1 inches. That far away. Oh, yeah. That far away from being perfectly level. That's a shame. That's a shame.
Top from being what builders call plumb, which means vertically level. Now this is very impressive because generally speaking, tall buildings have to be very straight indeed in order to stop them from slumping, unless they want to end up looking like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. It's not a bad look for an ancient cool Roman building, but not the best for a tower that is over half a kilometer tall. Next.
I was gonna say, if the CN Tower started to like slump or something, it would gain a lot of attraction. I don't know how much tourism it would attract anymore if it was tilted, but it would instantly shoot up the ranks of modern wonders of the world. The 500-meter tall tilted tower.
Next up at number 6, we're talking strength. And you might be pleased to know that when you get to the top of the CN Tower, it's very, very sturdy indeed. It's able to withstand an earthquake of 8.5 on the Richter scale. It would take a lot to bring this thing down. It can also withstand winds of up to 260 miles per hour, which is roughly very, 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 very strong.
I mean, when you build stuff this massive and pointy, like, but seriously, this big and huge, like, that was almost never meant to exist in a way. It's like absurd that the CN Tower can even exist. Like, mankind can create something like that. You do have to worry about, can it withstand an absurd amount of wind or an earthquake? Because there's no getting that wrong. There's no second chance. Like, it must be strong. And it is, apparently.
Winds. It would take one hell of a big piggy to blow this tower down, basically. I once had a nightmare about being in a skyscraper during a hurricane. Actually terrifying. At number 5 now, at the top of the CN Tower is a restaurant called the 360 Restaurant. That offers Canadian cuisines from all over Canada and spectacular views of Toronto below. But what's even cooler...
I didn't remember there's a restaurant in this. Yeah. Okay. Hey, you visit the CN Tower, you get to go to the top, enjoy the sights, and go to the restaurant. I like that, although it does make it kind of touristy, let's be honest, putting a restaurant inside of it, but it's fun. It's fun. Like, apparently it's not really a radio tower anymore, so why not have a restaurant and cool stuff? I like it.
Is that it rotates. That's where it gets its name from, 360 Restaurant. As you sit and eat your meal, you rotate 1 degree every 5 minutes, which means after 72 minutes, you will have seen Toronto from every angle, and you'll be right back where you started.
It rotates. The restaurant rotates. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. That is fantastic. So it does move. I was thinking that part of the tower could go like up and down, but no. That was silly. it rotates and you can eat your dinner in it.
Here's actually a picture of me there about 3 years ago. I had a great time. I highly recommend it. Yes, I know that the lack of beard makes me look about 12. On to number 4 now, guys. And because lightning looks for the quickest route to the ground, it will always try and connect with the tallest thing around. And in Toronto, the CN Tower is the tallest thing around by a mile.
Yeah.
So it gets hit a lot. In fact,
Oh my god! Oh my gosh! Look at that. What if you're like having dinner while it gets struck by lightning? I mean, honestly, that'd almost make your dinner a little extra special if you're getting struck by lightning in the CN Tower while spinning around during dinner. Maybe that's how you want it.
It's hit 75 times a year on average, mainly during the summer thunderstorms.
Okay.
Each strike is about 100 million volts, and you might be thinking, oh god, doesn't that do some sort of damage? Well, luckily, they thought about that before they built the CN Tower, and the lightning actually gets channeled from the top of the tower right into the ground through 42 different grounding rods.
Right into the ground. We're not using the lightning bolts through the tower to like power Toronto or something. Dang it.
This means that the only thing that happens is that everyone gets a cool new background for their phone. Check it out, shotgun this one. That one's mine, I'm telling you.
Wow.
At number 3, when you finish your meal, you can take a walk on the glass floor in the Sky Pod. Now, this was the first of its kind in the world, and when you stand on it, you can see 342 meters straight down to the...
Oh, you can stand on the glass and see through the floor. This would be scary. Like, seriously. What's this glass made of? But that's kind of part of the fun. Standing on the glass in the CN Tower. Looking down into the void. Scary, but fun.
The ground. Visitors are encouraged to stand on it and dare to walk on air. Now don't worry, it's totally safe and it has been for the 20 years since its creation.
Okay.
That doesn't stop people from freaking out. The only thing stopping them from falling to their death seems to be about 2.5 inches of glass. It's pretty nerve-wracking. But this is specially made glass.
Stop jumping on it. What are they doing? Stop testing it. Stop jumping.
Glass is pretty nerve-wracking. But this is specially made glass. Very strong glass indeed. In fact, it can hold over 20,000 kilograms of weight. To give you an idea of how much that is, that's about 14 hippos worth, or 35 moose if you're Canadian. So you might be scared, but don't be, unless you hang around with a lot of mooses. Mises? Moosei? I don't know.
Okay, very, very comforting. It could hold many, many, many moose. But I'm still not jumping all over it, testing my luck and whatnot.
Moving on now, anyone who's ever been to Canada knows that the winters can be pretty brutal, to say the least. And in Toronto, freezing rain isn't that uncommon in the winter. And at number 2, back in 2007, there was a lot of freezing rain that hit one side of the tower. When the wind came down, it blew chunks of ice the size of tabletops off the tower and sent them crashing down into the city below.
Oh, man, that's one of those things you don't think about. Well, honestly, you probably should think about. They thought about a lot of stuff when building this thing, but that is just one of those things. Like, it makes sense. When it happens, ice forms on the side of the tower and falls down, and it's dangerous. You're like, yeah, that makes total sense. Of course that happens. But did they come up with a way to fix this, to stop this? Is that possible?
Terrifying. They fell at a mind-blowing 223 miles an hour. Now, fortunately, nobody was hurt, but the ice damaged cars and dented roofs. One local hotel even began giving out hard hats to its guests for their own safety. Is this a sign that Mother Nature thinks we built too high? Probably not. Or is it? All right, folks.
What? Hey, what? So there was no solution to that one? The deadly ice blocks falling down from the tower? Does that just still happen? Is there a big net or something? Or we just gonna forget about that and just be like, okay, we got our hard hats on, so it's all good? Huh. I thought there'd be some kind of resolution to that one. Oh well.
I'd like to think I say the best one till last. Here's a story from the construction of the CN Tower that I think should be made into some sort of Bruce Willis action movie, I'm telling you. And number one, the antenna of this CN Tower was actually put in place using a helicopter. So if you've been looking at those pictures of the CN Tower and wondering, how did they get that thing up there? Well, they just flew it up there. Yeah, it's crazy. The helicopter was a 10-ton Sikorsky called Olga, and the crazy thing is, it almost went horribly wrong. As Olga was putting in the first piece, it twisted and ended up getting attached to the top of the tower with only about 50 minutes of fuel left in its tank. If it ran out, it would have literally just crashed down. Steel workers had to scramble up and burn off the bolts keeping it attached to the tower. Olga landed...
What? Oh my gosh. When that was happening, that must have been terrifying. You know, they're talking about how amazing it was that they put the antenna on top with a helicopter. And now it is an amazing, horrifying story, I'll admit that. But the construction of the CN Tower is mind-boggling and insane. And like, putting the antenna on the top is not the part that, like, blows my mind, where I'm like, oh, that's how they did it. That's how they put the antenna on. Oh, it's interesting. Don't get me wrong, but that's to be number one on the list. It's like, yeah, they put an antenna on top, but they also built the entire tower, which is probably more amazing. But okay, I'll stop ragging on it for now.
Safely with just 14 minutes of fuel left in her tank, which is good news because I think a helicopter crashing into the CN Tower before it's even finished might have been the worst thing ever. Like, ever. Alright folks, I'm now going to go and pitch that movie idea to Hollywood, so I'll wrap this up by asking you, have you guys ever been to the CN Tower? If you have, what was it like? Did you enjoy it? If you haven't, do you want to go? And here's a question that all of you can answer. What do you want us to do next here on Most...
Okay, that's it. No, that tower sounds amazing. Not just because it has a restaurant in it either, although that is a very high on my list of considerations that you can eat there and get spun around. That this video was by Most Amazing Top 10. And I liked this a lot. I gotta give this a like. I didn't, you know, I had heard of the CN Tower, probably heard about it here and there, but I really didn't remember much about it or know what it did or what's cool about it. So this little video was perfect. This was like, I get it. I get the hype around the CN Tower in Toronto. And there's cool stuff in it. That's the part that kind of surprises me, other than that it exists and it's enormous and ridiculous, is even the elevator ride up to the top would be like, whoa, this is kind of mind-blowing. Then you can eat in the restaurant, get spun 360 degrees, and jump up and down on glass if you want to tempt fate. You can jump up and down on the glass and have fun that way if you're into that. But seriously, I did enjoy this video. This was fascinating. If you enjoyed this video as well, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canadian culture, stuff in Canada that I've never seen or learned before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.